These are difficult financial times, and reducing store shrink to recover lost profits has never been more important. In fact, proactively reducing store shrink is likely to be your most direct route to real profit improvement, competitive advantage, and survival. This information-packed video series by Larry Miller is entitled The Total Store Manager. Larry is the recognized loss prevention authority, and in this series, he will reveal to you a wealth of valuable tips and techniques that you can start using now to reduce and even eliminate the shrink losses that are robbing your bottom line. Don't miss any of the 14 segments that will be presented right here. Then plan to bring Larry in for a live, upbeat, and highly productive store manager training workshop at your company.
The National Supermarket Shrink Survey says that 2.76% of your retail sales go down the drain to shrink every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. That shrink is divided up in 32% being cashier caused, 24% being general employee caused, only 21% being shoplifter caused, and the rest of it being divided up by receiving and accounting and pricing and other operating errors. It doesn't really matter whether we argue those numbers in any different direction. This is a 5-year trend chart, and the 5 years has not altered more than 10% across the 5 years. So it can be 5 or 10% up or down. I don't really care. It's not the debate. You know the biggest debate? 50% of your shrink is caused by people in your stores. So store managers, I want you to take the approach. I am the total store manager. It is my job to make money here. This is my business. I may not own this store, but I take pride in who I am. I take pride in what I know. And I take pride in the fact that I can do better tomorrow than I did today. No more autopilot. No more same as. Better tomorrow than you were today to milk your own cow. The objective is to change that result, to make yourself better, to make your stores better, to make every employee in your stores better. Merchandisers, head merchandisers, please raise your hands. I know, you guys always sit together, don't you? You're going to become a teaching store manager, not just a controlling store manager. We're going to do that every single day because our number one objective is to improve sales, improve operating and selling consistency, customer service, and all operating controls. That's your job, starting today. Now, I know you would have said the same thing, or if I had said that to you and said, is that your job? You would go, that's my job. No, I want you to live it and eat it and breathe it. And I want you to take it to every one of your store managers, or every one of your department managers, or every one of your lead people, or every one of your new hires, every part-timer in between. You have a 70-30 part-time to full-time mix. I want the part-timers to understand it just as sure as the full-timers understand it. Errors are people who don't understand the policies and don't do it the way it should be done. But they're not malicious about it. They're not trying to steal. We as management people have failed to communicate effectively with them. There's a failure to communicate. Fraud. These are people who know the policies. They're not making an error. They think you're stupid. They think that they can beat you. It's really what it is. You're not looking. You're not smart as them. They're smarter than you. And behind your back and in front of your face, they are going to try to steal or defraud the company out of money for personal gain. Fraud goes on in every single store. It is more widespread today than it was a year ago. Shrink is up 14% in the last 12 months as 2 household incomes become 1 household income, and people are forced to adjust their behaviors. They can always be better, and that's our challenge today. So think of every department in your store as a cow ready to milk, as a cow ready to milk. Right? The root causes of shrink in your store. They start in I look at them as 4 rings or 4 root causes. Policies, absence of good policies or the breakdown of policies, employee errors, unintentional things that they do, real fraud, and then policy compliance. Those 4 things really affect where and how shrink exists in your stores. They pretty well surround everything that's going to go on in your store. If there's a policy, is it a good policy? If there isn't a policy, there should be a policy. So let me, Vinny, a couple of things I really stress in my store, and it's really important for me to look you in the eye, person to person, and make sure you understand what my operating goals and standards are. My number one standard is an engaged customer, right? Where every single employee looks in the eyes of every single customer and says, "Hi, how you doing today?" And not as a disruption to their business, but actually as the enabler to their business. Because Vinny, I'm going to tell you this, you'll never get 20 to 30 hours in my store if you don't help me build sales through happy customers. Customer satisfaction, customer happiness is urgent to me, right? And I need every single employee to look a customer in the eye and engage that customer. You don't have to stop work to do it. You know, just look over and go, "Hey, how are you today?" And mean it, Vinny, because your 22 hours are dependent on them, okay? If you advertise more aggressively in the high-low concept, what happens? You get more sales. You get more sales, what happens to shrink? It goes down. You get more sales, what happens to his hours? They go up. What happens to the produce counters we want to replace but couldn't, or just chose not to? We buy them, right? It's circular and cyclical. It all works together. Right? Everybody in this room has the ability to affect your own destiny by getting on board with loss prevention in a whole new way. Totally empowering your organization into a bigger profit-making machine.
For information about customized seminars for your store managers or for specific solutions to your loss prevention problems, contact Larry Miller personally at 602-448-8500 or visit retailcontrol.com for free tips, techniques, and lots more.